Hey guys, out on a beautiful day today, Saturday morning, and I'm gonna start a new practice here. I've got my son Caleb with me. Say hi, Caleb.
Hi.
We're gonna start a new practice. It's just it's 10 minutes a day. It's a 10-minute walk every day. This is a tiny little thing. One of those, they talk about habits. They say, first you create your habits, and then your habits create you. And so it's critical, those things that you're doing every single day. And it's the little things. It's really not the big major things. It's a ton of little teeny things that you do consistently every day over the long haul that shape your life. And so we don't want to be in a lack of wisdom concerning that, or thinking that it's about some big, incredible, thing. It really is just a lot of very, very wise little things. So 10 minutes a day, what's the purpose of that? Well, there's a lot of purpose in it. First, it's just moving and breathing. You're just getting outside, you're getting into the oxygen, you're getting into that good air. Like I live in the woods, so I can get out here, and all the things that these trees and all the living things around me are producing for me to breathe. We were all created together to create a healing environment, that you'd breathe that in, and that you'd be moving and breathing. You want to be getting out in the sun. Come on, Kayla. Getting out in the sun. Let that get on your skin. Those vitamin D levels are critical. And here's a point to be made, because we're living in the day of the pandemic. It's not the first time that the world has encountered something like this, but the coronavirus is really just to me, it's just a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to begin to lean more into how can I strengthen myself from the inside out, so that my body can withstand all the things that are thrown at it. And that's spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things that, this world is fallen, and so it's literally trying to kill its inhabitants in a certain way. It's in a death cycle, and we're caught in this death cycle. And so, even gravity is pulling on us in such a way, it's trying to drag your body, your bones back to the ground and just deposit you back into this place. And so if you're not living consistently with your shoulders back, your head held high, full of purpose, moving forward, knowing where you're going in life, what you're going to do, man, the world is just going to crumple you up like a piece of paper and toss you to the side. You're done. And so you got to have a lot of things working for you in a positive manner, so that you're living a life that has impact and influence, and you're not just being blown around by the wind. You got to set your sails appropriately. Each one of us, you and I, are personally responsible for setting the sails of our life, so that when the wind blows, we can adjust. And see, that's skill. You got to be able to adjust. And so in this day of the pandemic, we got to be practicing things that are increasing our immune system, the God-given immune system. It's powerful. The immune system and the body, are just incredible how they're made. But we've got to be living in alignment with the power of it, so it can be and do everything that it's meant to do. You can't just eat a ton of sugar. You can't eat a bunch of mess. It's just crap food. It's just filler, nothing food. In fact, a lot of it's made just for taste, just to get your dollar, just to addict you to a lifestyle of selling your soul to food that's tasty and has nothing in it. In fact, it's less than nothing. It has things in it that are killing you. They're going to send you to the grave in a flash. And so you got to use some wisdom there. You got to exercise. We were created to exercise. We were created to get outside, get moving, get breathing. We were created to breathe, and that's the other thing I was going to talk about. Oh no, I was going to go with vitamin D. You get on the sun, get in the sunlight, that produces which essentially is a hormone of vitamin D within the body. It's a produced hormone that's fat soluble. Anyway, I'm talking about stuff I don't know too much, so I'm gonna be quiet. Other than vitamin D is a real thing and you need it. And one of the things there, I think the studies that I've been listening to are revealing is that people who have a critically low vitamin D level are the ones that are dying from coronavirus. They're the ones that are getting hammered the hardest and dying. And that's a hypothesis at this point, so I'm not trying to say I'm certainly not a doctor and not a scientist either, so I'm just listening to people that I have followed for a long time, and it just makes a lot of sense. You know, I won't get into the details of why I think that is, but you need to be supplementing vitamin D. I take 5,000 IUs a day, which is high, but I really believe that is what's needed. And I get outside as much as I can. Now, you could just go outside every day if you spent enough time in the sun, and potentially your vitamin D levels are gonna, I don't know if they'll be high enough, because it's just hard to get outside these days. We all work indoors. Just consistently, you might not make it out enough. And so, you know, an hour in a day in the sun might not be enough to have the levels that you should have. So I supplement every day, and I keep my D levels high. And so that's just one of the many things that we've got to learn to do to survive in this world that's going to throw viruses our way that are going to try to take us out. We can't just hide. We can't hide. We can't just social distance the rest of our lives. We can't just sterilize our environment and think that's going to work. It's not going to work, and I'm not going that route. So the 10-minute walk a day is a walk of health, and I was going to get into talking about breathing a little bit. You get out, and I practice something called breath walking. So Caleb, come on up here. Let's do some breath walking. So what is breath walking? It's a certain type of breathing pattern that stimulates the immune system to get up from functioning and running. And so it's a breath pattern of 4 breaths. So you go. I'm trying to do it loud so you might hear it, but you're breathing 4 in your nose and then 4 short bursts out your breath, and you can get into a rhythm with it. And you can even do this this finger pattern with it in the rhythm, where you're touching the tips of your fingers. Okay, so I'm going shh, 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 shh. Does that make sense? So you're doing both hands and you're walking along and you're getting in that rhythm. And this breath walking pattern, this is a studied thing. You can look it up and read about it. But I practice it all the time. Just get out every day, get into that moving and breathing. Breathing the air, I could get way deep into some powerful breathing techniques for what breathing is about. You know, the Bible talks about you that let every breath praise the name of God. In other words, God is spirit, and God has given us breath, his spirit, and brought man to life. That's in Genesis 2:7. And let every breath praise him. So we're breathing in a breath of life that was given us to breathe, and as we're breathing, man, all good things happen to us. So breathing deeply is a really big deal, and I'm not going to talk about I might do that on another video, that I go straight into talking from A to Z about the power of breathing and its necessity. Come on, Caleb. But Caleb and I are going to finish out our walk by getting into our breathing patterns, breathing deeply, looking into the sun, just being grateful, understanding we're living with purpose, and just enjoying life and enjoying each other. So you guys be blessed. Go out and walk 10 minutes today, and then get into the habit of just getting out, moving and breathing, and thinking good thoughts. So have a blessed day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.